Hello, you are welcome to Codance Academy, and this is Codance Introduction to Programming with Python, and I am Samuel Ando Boche. This week, we are looking at conditionals, a way in code to run some set of instructions if a certain condition is true, or to run other set of instructions if the condition is false, or even decide not to run any set of instructions at all if the condition here is false. Now let's go back to our text editor, and then if you can't find your terminal, let's press Ctrl Shift backtick to bring the terminal into view. Having brought the terminal into view, let's create a Python file called cond, C-O-N-D, to learn how conditionals are used in Python programming language. So on the terminal, let's type code and then cond.py. We already know all Python files are supposed to end with the .py extension, and then having typed this code, I press enter to create my Python file. Before we can create conditionals in our code or inside our program, we make use of one data type called the Boolean data type. The Boolean data type. So Boolean is a data type in computer programming that can have only two values, and these values are either true or false. So yes, we can even create a variable and then assign any of these Boolean values to it. I can create a variable called is_citizen, and then inside this is_citizen variable, assigned true to it. So this true is what? Is a Boolean data type. I can also create another variable called is_admin, and then inside this admin variable, assign what? Assign false to it. So the true and the false, these are Boolean data types, and Boolean data type, we have said, is a data type that can have only two values, true and then false. So in forming a conditional, we must create an expression that at the end of the day will run to give us either true or false. And these expressions are known as Boolean expressions. So if you want to create a conditional inside your program or your code, we make use of Boolean expressions. And Boolean expression is any expression that evaluates to either true or false, or any expression that runs to give us what? Either true or false. And the question is, how do we then construct these Boolean expressions? Now, in order to construct any Boolean expression, we make use of what is called comparison operators. So comparison operators are these expressions that allows or permits us to be able to compare values, compare expressions, or even compare what? Variables. And in mathematics, we already know, or we are aware of these comparison operators. The first one being the greater than, the second one also being the greater than or equal to operator, the third one, which is the less than operator, then we have the less than or equal to operator, then we have the equal to operator here being represented with a double equal sign, and then we have the is not equal to operator. So these are the what? Operators or comparison operators that are used to construct Boolean expressions. So if we want to compare if one value is greater than the other, we make use of the greater sign comparison operator. If we want to check if one value is greater or exactly equal to another value, we make use of the greater than or equal to operator. And then if we want to check if one value is less than the other, then we make use of the less than operator. If we want to as well check if one value is less than or exactly equal to another value, we make use of the less than or equal to operator. If we want to check if one value is equal to another value, that is where we make use of the equal to operator. And then if we want to check if one value is not equal to another value, we make use of the not equal to operator. So when we want to construct Boolean expressions, we make use of these what? Comparison operators we have here. Now let's go back to the text editor to construct a Boolean expression. Remember, Boolean expression is any expression after running or after execution, it either gives us true or false. Before we construct the Boolean expression, let us try to print these variables to see the value the interpreter will show to us. So is underscore citizen, let us print is underscore citizen, and then let's go to line 4 and then print is admin, and then see what the interpreter will show to us. And I think your guess is right. Let's type Python and then the name of our file. Having saved the code, cond.py, press enter, and then the interpreter should show to us the values that we have saved inside is underscore citizen and then is underscore admin. So they are also values, just like string, just like integer, and then just like the float data type we have already spoken about. So permit me to erase these variables and then create a variable called greater. So here I want us to use the greater than operator to construct a Boolean expression. So my variable name is greater equals, and then we can compare numbers. So let me type 10 is greater than 5. So 10 greater than 5, and we all know that 10 is indeed greater than 5. So this expression, if printed, what result should be printed to us? So let's go to line 2 and then print what will be saved inside the greater variable that we have created. So I'll type greater inside the print function and then go back to my terminal. Let me clear my terminal and then type Python cond.py, and then when I press enter, I should see true. So indeed 10 is greater than 5. So any expression like this, which at the end of the day runs to give us either true or false, is what? It's a Boolean expression. And we are going to make use of these Boolean expressions to form our conditionals, which will decide on the set of instructions to run if the condition is true or if the condition is false, run other sets of instructions, or to do nothing at all. So let's construct another Boolean expression using the less than. So I will create a variable called less equal, and then here let me say 10 is less than 5, and the question is 10 less than 5? So let us print what is saved, or the result which is saved inside the less variable. So let me print less, save the code, go back to my terminal, and then we run Python cond.py, press enter, and then I should see false. So let me reconstruct this expression again. Now let's say less again equal 5 is less than 10, and it's 5 less than 10. Let me print the results now. Print, and then let me print less again, and let's see what you think will be the result now. 5 is less than 10. So when we print, what should be the result? Let me print Python and then cond.py, press enter, and then I should see true. So the first true for the expression on line 1, and then the false here is for the expression on line 3, which is 10 less than 5. 10 is not less than 5. And then the last true is for the expression on line 5, which is 5 is less than 10. Yes, indeed, 5 is less than what? 10. So yes, whenever we want to construct Boolean expression, we make use of the what? Of the comparison operators. Now let us create another Boolean expression equal, and now let's check if 20 is indeed equal to 20. We use the double equal sign to represent the equal we know in mathematics. So remember, we said that the single equal sign is known as the assignment operator, which is used to put values inside variables. But if we want to compare to see if one value is equal to another value, we make use of the double equal sign. So the double equal sign gives us the opportunity to be able to compare one value to another value to check if indeed they are all equal. So variable equal 20, double equal 20. And now let's print the results. So print, and then I have equal, And after this, let's go back to the terminal. Let me clear my terminal and then type Python cond.py, press enter, and then indeed 20 is equal to 20. So let me change 20 and then make it 21. Let's check if 20 is equal to 21, and we all know 20 is not equal to 21. So what should be the result? Having saved the code, back to the terminal, let me clear it again, and then Python cond.py, and then indeed it tells us that the answer is what? It's false. So 20 is not equal to 21. So let me come down, let me go to line 9, and then on line 9, so let me create a variable called not equal, and then let's check if 20 is not equal to. So with the not equal to, we use the exclamation mark in addition with the equal sign. So the exclamation mark and then the equal sign to represent not equal to. So 20 is not equal to 10. So let's check if 20 is not equal to 10. And then for us to see the result, we must print it. Let's print the variable not equal to. So here, let's check. Let me go back to the terminal and then type Python cond.py, and then the answer is indeed true. So we know that 20 is not equal to what? To 10. So these expressions I have over here are all Boolean expressions. So that is the reason why we define Boolean expression as any expression at the end of the day after running gives us either true or false. So we can as well compare strings. So anything at all. Permit me to clear these expressions, and now let's compare strings. So I will type equal. First, I want to make use of the equal operator. Remember, the variable name can be anything. I am using equal to show the kind of operator we are using currently. So not equal, and let me say, so amma is equal to amma. So check this. Remember we said that Python is case sensitive. So here we are checking amma, which is capital letters, and then amma, which is small letters. And then let's print to see the result. So print, and let's print equal. And do you think amma capital letters is equal to amma small letters? Let's bring back the terminal, and then let's type Python cond.py, press enter, and then it tells me that false. So remember here, case sensitivity is at work now. We know that capital letter amma is not equal to small letter amma. So comparing strings, you have to be extra careful so that these minor mistakes, you do not make them, but to avoid them entirely when comparing strings. So when I even change this amma and make it capital A, small letter M, small letter A, and then compare it to this all small letters amma, still the interpreter will tell me that they are not equal. So let me run this code again, Python cond.py, and then it still tells me that it is what? It is false. Yes, this amma is not equal to the small letter amma. So when comparing strings, you must be extra careful with this. Now, having learned how Boolean expressions are created, now let's jump into how to construct conditionals. So to construct a conditional, we make use of the if keyword in addition with a Boolean expression. So let's go back to our terminal. And let me propose that we want to create a program that checks if someone can vote or the person cannot vote. So here we all know that in Ghana, the voting age is 18 years and above. If you are 18 years and above, you are permitted to vote. So let's create a Python program to check if someone can either vote or the person cannot vote. And then we know that here we have a condition. Is the person 18 or the person is not what? 18 years. So let me create a variable assigned a random age. Let me say 15 to this. So let's say the person is of age 15. And here, when we go to line 2, we said that we create a Boolean expression, but this Boolean expression must be created with the if keyword to construct what? A conditional. So first we make use of the if keyword, and right after the if keyword, that is where our Boolean expression will come. So here what are we doing? The voting age is 18 years and above. So if the person's age is greater than 17, so what is this line of code doing? So over here we assigned a random age to a variable called age, and then we are checking if the age is greater than 17. So what will happen over here? If the age is greater than 17, that is from 18 going, then we can print and tell the user that yes, you can vote. So if age is greater than 17, we bring what is called colon. Now Python uses what is called indentation to group set of instructions that are to be run if a certain condition is what is true. So right after the condition, we bring what is called a colon, and then we press the enter key. By default, it should create indentation for us. That is how Python knows that, oh, this is a block of code I am supposed to run under this particular word condition. So if age is greater than 17, what do we want to do? We want to print to the person that yes, you can vote. So this is what? A conditional in Python programming language. We use Boolean expression in addition with the if keyword to construct conditionals. Let me run this code. Let me go back to the terminal, Python, and then const.py, press enter, and then why am I not seeing anything on the terminal? What is happening over here is that the instructions or the set of instructions under the if condition will only run if the condition evaluates to true. And when we look at this program, the person's age is what? It's 15, and we know that 15 is not greater than 17, so therefore it evaluates to false, and if it is false, the set of instructions under the if condition will not what? Run. So the set of instructions under the if condition only runs if the condition evaluates to true. So let's change the age inside the age variable to something like 19, which will cause the expression to evaluate to true, thereby causing the set of instructions under the if condition to also what? Run. So having saved the code, let me go back to the terminal, Python const.py, press enter, and now I should see yes, you can what? Vote. So this is conditionals in Python programming language. Run some set of instructions if the condition is true, or run other set of instructions if the condition is false, or even decide not to do anything at all. So over here, if the condition evaluates to true, yes, we run yes, you can vote. But if it evaluates to false, we are not doing anything. So let me change 19 back to something like 14. I know that 14 is not greater than 17. So at the end of the day, when we run this program, we will not see anything on the terminal. So if we want to run other set of instructions, if the condition evaluates to false, then we use another keyword also called the else keyword. So the else keyword also gives us the opportunity to run other set of instructions if the condition evaluates to false. So the if keyword giving us the permission to run some set of instructions if the condition is true. The else keyword, on the other hand, also gives us the permission to run some set of instructions if the condition evaluates to false. So let me go back to the text editor, and then let's introduce the else keyword. And now right after the else keyword, we do not use a condition after the else keyword. So the else keyword stands alone. So if the condition is true, yes, we run some set of instructions, and if the condition is false, automatically the program or the computer will run all the set of instructions under the else keyword. Unlike the if keyword that needs a Boolean expression, the else keyword doesn't need any Boolean expressions. It stands alone. So right after the else, we introduce the colon, and then under the else, if the condition is false, let's run this set of instructions. Tell the person that no, you are under age, wait until you get to 18. So here, what are we doing? On line 1, we create a variable called age, assign 14 to that age variable, and then on line 2, we create a condition. If the age is greater than 17, if it is greater than 17, then the person is 18 years and above, then yes, the person can vote. But if the condition evaluates to false here, meaning the person is below 18 years, then we print to the person that no, you are underage, wait until you get to 18. So let me save this code. Let's go back to the terminal and then run python cond.py, press enter, and then it tells us that no, you are underage, wait until you get to 18. So this is conditional, and conditionals are very important in programming. So we use conditionals to make decisions inside our code. So let me change the age to 20 years, save the code once again, go back to the terminal, type python cond.py, press enter, and now it says that yes, you can vote. Let's make this program dynamic. Instead of hard coding the age into the code, we already know how to prompt the user for a value. So let's do that. So instead of hard coding the 20, that is the age, so let's still make use of our age variable, now equal to int, and then the input function, and then let's prompt the person, enter your age, and then whatever the person will type is converted into integer so that we can use it inside our comparison. So let me run this version of our program, python cond.py, press enter, prompt us for our age, and now let me type, let's say the person is 11. Now when I press enter, I said no, you are underage, wait until you get to 18. Let me run the code again. Now type 24, press enter, and say yes, you can vote. So in simple terms, conditionals allow us to perform or run some set of instructions if a certain condition is true, or to run other set of instructions if the condition is false, or even decide not to run any set of instructions at all.